As Tsar of Russia, I transformed our nation into a formidable power. Through modernization, I built a navy and established St. Petersburg, which became our vibrant window to Europe. I reformed the government, embracing Western innovation and education. My relentless quest for progress forged a strong and unified Russia that respected tradition while embracing the future, which ultimately contributed to our ascent to greatness.
The Tsar Who Changed Russia, a biographical portrait of Peter the Great. Peter the Great, also known as Peter I, was the Tsar of Russia from 1682 until his death in 1725. He is considered one of the most influential and powerful rulers in Russian history, transforming the country into a modern European state and expanding its territory through numerous military campaigns. His reign marked a turning point for Russia, propelling it into the modern era and solidifying its place as a major world power. Peter was born on June 9, 1672, in Moscow, to Tsar Alexis I and his second wife, Natalya Naryshkina. He was the 14th child of his father and the first from his mother's marriage. From a young age, Peter showed a keen interest in ships and navigation, which would later influence his decisions as a ruler. At the age of 10, Peter's father passed away, and his half-brother, Ivan V, became the new Tsar. However, due to his young age, Peter's elder sister, Sofia, served as regent until he came of age. During this time, Peter spent most of his time playing with his friends and indulging in his love for ships and naval activities. In 1689, when Peter turned 17, he overthrew his sister's regency and became the sole ruler of Russia. He co-ruled with his half-brother Ivan V until his death in 1696. However, even during this time, Peter held the majority of power, and it was evident that he was the one making all the major decisions. Peter was determined to modernize Russia and bring it closer to the Western European countries. He embarked on a grand tour of Europe in 1697, visiting countries such as Germany, the Netherlands, and England. During his travels, he observed and learned about the latest technologies, military tactics, and administrative systems. He also met with renowned scientists and craftsmen, gaining knowledge that he would later use to reform and modernize Russia. Upon returning to Russia, Peter began implementing sweeping reforms, often met with resistance from the traditionalists and the nobility. He introduced Western-style dress, shaved-off beards, and imposed a tax on beards as a way to encourage men to adopt the modern European fashion. He also established the first Russian newspaper and encouraged education by building schools and universities. One of Peter's most significant achievements was the establishment of the Russian Navy. In 1697, he commissioned the construction of the first Russian naval base, which would later become the city of St. Petersburg. He also built a powerful fleet and waged successful wars against neighboring countries, expanding Russia's territory. Under his rule, Russia gained access to the Baltic Sea, making it a major maritime power. Peter was also a skilled military commander and led his armies in various successful campaigns. He defeated the Swedish army at the Battle of Poltava in 1709, which marked a major turning point in the war between Russia and Sweden. This victory solidified Russia's position as a dominant force in Europe and brought an end to Sweden's reign as a major power. In addition to military conquests, Peter also focused on modernizing Russia's economy. He encouraged the growth of industries such as shipbuilding, mining and textiles, and introduced new technologies to improve production and trade. He also established the first Russian trading company, the Russian-American Company, which opened up trade with the Far East and North America. Peter's efforts to modernize Russia were not limited to the economy and military. He also made significant changes to the social and cultural aspects of the country. He introduced a new calendar, replaced the traditional Cyrillic alphabet with the Latin alphabet, and encouraged the adoption of the European way of life. He also established the first Russian theater and encouraged the arts and sciences, bringing in foreign artists, architects, and scientists to help develop Russia's cultural scene. Despite his achievements, Peter's rule was not without controversy. His reforms were often met with resistance and opposition, leading to rebellions and uprisings. He also faced criticism for his brutal methods of enforcing his reforms and suppressing dissent. One of the most infamous events during his reign was the Streltsy uprising in 1698, where hundreds of rebellious soldiers were executed and their families were exiled. On February 8, 1725, Peter the Great passed away, at the age of 52, due to complications from a bladder infection. His death was mourned by the Russian people, who saw him as a strong and visionary leader, who had transformed their country into a powerful nation. His legacy continued to shape Russia for centuries to come, and he is still remembered as one of the most influential and significant figures in Russian history. In conclusion, Peter the Great was a transformative and visionary leader who modernized Russia and expanded its territory. His efforts to bring Russia closer to the Western European countries solidified its position as a major world power and paved the way for its future development. Despite his controversial methods, Peter's legacy continues to inspire and shape Russia to this day.